If your agency feels stuck, like you're grinding but not growing, it's probably because you've hit a complexity ceiling and it's time to level up your game. If your agency feels like a treadmill you can't get off of, it's not your fault. You're just stuck at level 2. You may have hired people, you may have broken 6 figures, but the business still feels chaotic. Everything still requires your input. Your team seeks you for solutions constantly. You've hired a few people, you're making decent revenue, but every day still feels like firefighting. But what most founders don't know is there is a secret doorway to get out of this chaos. And that doorway lies in the evolution of the agency from growth stage number 2 to number 3. In this video, we're going to cover the 4 core growth stages of an agency and the most important step to take to get yourself from level 2 to level 3. Let's dive in. Hey guys, I'm Ben Gerster, and I scaled my digital marketing agency to over $400,000 in monthly reoccurring revenue by understanding the game of building an agency. Business is a game if we look at it from the right perspective. All we need is the right smart, scalable frameworks and systems in our business, and we can grow rapidly. In this video, we're going to cover some of the important tactics as we look at going from a startup all the way to a fully scalable and exitable agency. Let's start with a core game theory principle, and that is that chaos stalls our growth while systems create the freedom that we need to grow rapidly and eliminate founder dependency in the agency. The 4 levels of agency growth are freelance agency, and this is where you are the business. A chaotic startup. This is where you have help, but it's messy, and this is likely where you find yourself today. Stage 3 is the operational agency. This is where you have structure, but there is still some founder dependency. And then level 4, the scalable machine. And this is where the business runs, grows, and sells without you being directly involved in all of the processes. This is where we want to get our agency as fast as possible. As we look at each of these stages, each one has symptoms that can help you identify where you are currently and what the next step of the journey looks like. And again, between stage 2 and 3 is a critical bridge breakthrough that we will identify on this call today. And it was the single biggest game changer in the trajectory of my agency. Starting with level 1 freelancer agency, this is where revenues are pretty low. We're just getting started. We have anywhere between $0 to $25,000 in monthly reoccurring revenue as an agency. You're really still stuck selling your time as opposed to the value of the outcomes you're producing. You're still proving yourself, and you haven't quite established what that outcome is that you're able to produce for a client. You clearly would not have any niche or positioning in this stage. You're serving a general audience. You're still trying to figure out who your ICP is, your ideal customer profile, and understanding what those needs are of that ICP. Your clients are probably coming from random referrals. This is a dangerous place to stay in. We need to build systems that are repeatable and reliable for building new client engagements for the agency. Delivery is project by project. No systems, no team, and there's likely not very much margin in what you're doing as a freelancer agency. Level 2 is what we refer to as the chaotic startup. And this is where you've hired a few people, but you're managing chaos instead of creating clarity within the business. Revenue might be anywhere between $25,000 to $80,000, even upwards to $100,000 a month in this type of structure. If you're beyond $100,000 a month and you're still finding yourself with these symptoms, it is certainly time to level up to a level 3 type of business. You're hiring fast. You've got poor handoffs between sales and delivery. You haven't quite figured out your onboarding process. You may not even have an onboarding person. It's a roller coaster of revenue in this stage. It's very unpredictable. We don't know where our next customer is coming from, and we get surprises left and right with clients that might be churning or leaving service. There are bottlenecks everywhere in the business, and likely you are one of the biggest bottlenecks because all process still runs through you as a a founder. You're making all of the decisions. The team is still relying on you to step in and make those decisions to keep things moving, which means you are a massive bottleneck to the ability of the team to operate independently. The team doesn't have clear KPIs, and the business likely doesn't have a scorecard or a dashboard that it is using to measure the health of the clients and the team that is delivering your services to your clients. Still incredibly founder reliant across the board, from sales to marketing to fulfillment. Now, step number 3 is an operational agency, and this is really where we've started to scale up between $80,000 and $200,000 a month. We have very clearly documented SOPs and processes and playbooks for our team to be operating on. We have a clearly defined org chart that indicates what all the roles and responsibilities are, and we have the right people in the right seats to handle those roles. We have account managers. We have the affordability to have somebody that is owning the client relationship. Sales and delivery don't break each other. Whenever we see peak selling moments, we're not feeling overwhelmed, or we're not stopping sales from happening because we are at full capacity or we cannot handle any more business coming in the front door. We have regular team meetings with clear agendas that are driving our initiatives in our business, as opposed to the founder driving every initiative on their own, which leads to you having bandwidth. And you have a strong team culture that is forming in this stage. You are able to act more as a leader of the business rather than just a part of the team delivering services to your client. And then finally, in level 4, this is the scalable machine, and this is where we really want to get to. Revenue is over $200,000 a month. The founder is out of daily operations. Key hires, you have an integrator or a COO. Now, this is truly your number 1, or I like to call them the number 2 in the business. The founder is typically the number 1 in the business. But this number 2 role is one of the most powerful roles for growth, because this role is high level, thinks like a founder. They are an entrepreneur, not an entrepreneur, but they're actually here to support you as the entrepreneur. But they still have that drive and that incentivization to push the business forward, to treat it as if it's their own, and to truly take on the biggest, heaviest responsibilities of leading the team and ensuring that clients are receiving services with high quality. At this stage, you have automated lead gen and sales processes so that you are able to be at the highest volume possible of new customer acquisition. You truly do have a machine that is running and operating without you as the founder being required to do prospecting, to take sales calls, or to close the deal with your clients. There are scorecards, and there is a data-driven decision-making philosophy in the business. All important KPIs are being tracked, and decisions are being made based on actual data as opposed to instinct in the agency. And at this stage, you have a leadership team that is working on the business, not just in the business. That leadership team is meeting quarterly to take on large initiatives that are going to move the business forward and help it achieve its annual targets. The business is prepped for an exit. Now, whether you decide that you want to exit or not is a different story, but you should always be in a position of... If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and drop a comment below letting me know which level are you currently in and what's your biggest challenge getting unstuck and out of that level. Until next time, stay hungry, stay focused, and keep hustling.